Over the last couple of years, it's been difficult for Journey fans to watch as members Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain were involved in a very bitter and very public feud, one that even spilled into the courtroom. And now there's some really positive news as it appears as though both Neil and Jonathan have worked this out, with Neil now opening up in a new interview for the first time about the circumstances that led them to put this very bitter feud aside. Together, Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain have written some of the biggest songs of all time in Journey. A few years ago, there were even rumors that Steve Perry could return to the band. Although that seems unlikely at this point, things got really tough between Jonathan Cain and Neil Schon over the last couple of years, with a very public war of words and an ugly dispute that spilled over into the courtroom. Questions raised about credit card expenses and rumors that security had to keep them separated backstage. All of this led fans of Journey to believe that the legendary band could be coming to an end at any moment over this very ugly feud. But in recent months, there had been rumors that members of the band had patched things up, with Neil Schon now opening up in a new interview confirming that is true. At one point, the feud even dragged in the band's frontman Arnel Pineda, who seemed fed up by the entire ordeal, even challenging the band to fire him if things didn't calm down within the group. This was a highly contentious feud that many fans thought would never end, and likely fans will be much more excited to come out to shows knowing that the band is enthusiastically performing together instead of trying to pretend the other member didn't exist. The feud also involved politics, which is always unfortunate, with Schon publicly criticizing Jonathan Cain's support for former President Donald Trump. But now, Schon sounds very positive, and the band is starting to sound a lot more like the Journey that we all know and love. Neil Schon is the legendary guitarist of Journey, a founding member of the band since they formed back in 1973. Several years later, Jonathan Cain would join Journey in 1980, and he was a major addition to the group, serving as a co-writer of one of the biggest songs of all time, Journey's massive hit, Don't Stop Believin'. In 2022, headlines broke when Neil Schon sued Jonathan Cain, demanding access to Journey's financial records. The beef apparently stemmed from access over a credit card expense. But as I mentioned, there were also reports that it was due to Jonathan Cain's association with Donald Trump, with Schon feeling strongly that the band shouldn't have any political affiliations. Over the last couple of years, Schon would frequently vent his frustrations on social media. But earlier this year, rumors began to surface that Schon and Cain were mending fences. Now, in an interview back in February, Journey drummer Dean Castronovo alluded to things being resolved between Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain. Here's what he said at the time. Asked by Ultimate Classic Rock back in February whether a tide had turned within the band, he said, John and Neil, I think it was all about just communication. Having those guys sit down, with Michelle and Paula. Actually, the wives helped a lot. It was bringing them in and just going, guys, talk this out. This is too big, too beautiful, and too great to see it just flush down the toilet. Mend the fences. Now we've got Michelle and Paula, John's wife. It's all four of them co-managing this band, and it's working. They're getting along and they're working together. It's one jet instead of two. They're running it like a business. That's what it should have been. There was a lot of turmoil in both camps, and nobody was talking. That was the problem. Now they're all talking and communicating, and it's working great. Paula's a great businesswoman. She's smart with money, and Michelle is a people person, and she's got the gift of gab. We just do our jobs. We go out there and play and it works. Man, it's great. I've got to give all four of them credit. And so now we're hearing directly from Neil Schon in a brand new interview where he addresses all of this for the first time, and his response is fantastic. It was really sad to see after all these guys had accomplished together with such a great band, such great music, and still putting on a fantastic live performance. It really just seems pointless for these guys to have such a big falling out. So it's awesome to see them back on the same page here. This is what Neil Schon said in this brand new interview about resolving these issues with Jonathan Cain. In a new interview with LA music journalist Lindsay Parker, Neil Schon opened up about the decision to mend fences with Jonathan Cain. He said, "We just decided that the music is the music. We worked really hard and diligently on keeping this thing alive all these years and just not let the other stuff get in the way and kind of keep it separate. It's all right for us to have separate beliefs on everything. It was actually a rule that way before Jonathan was in the band that our manager made with us all, that we would never have politics involved in our music or any one religion because Journey is for everyone. And anytime you get political and you segregate, you're going to lose fans. And why would you want to do that? Just keep it open for everyone to be able to enjoy your music as music." He was then asked about how he feels about Journey music being used for political candidates, and he said, "I'm not a fan of it. No, I'm not a fan of it. But it doesn't matter. It's not one way or the other. It's not the left side, not the right side. It's just I'm in the middle and I don't want to go one way or the other. I think we should remain neutral and let everybody enjoy what they want to enjoy, and I think it's nobody's business. I've never appreciated music with politics. I don't think they go hand in hand. I think music is the greatest communicator of the world, and that it shouldn't have a label on it one way or the other. It should be to be conveyed by everyone in their own way. This is just so great to hear. I didn't ever think that Journey was going to work things out internally. It was so ugly, and you hear the way that they're working on things right now in the band, and it sounds fantastic. It sounds mature, and I hope they just keep doing it this way. Don't change a thing. Keep having fun out there. They've just accomplished too much, and they're such an important band in rock history with all they've achieved, all these massive songs. And who knows, if things go well for a long enough period of time, maybe we could get Steve Perry back involved as well. He's still doing music in some capacity, such an amazing talent. It would be crazy to see them performing together again, but who knows? But either way, this is so great to see. Wonderful to see them working it out, because it was a very ugly feud between them two, and so I just love that. Go see a Journey show. That is your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.